What's up guys, WWE Stage Creator back in with another video. Today, I have your Horror Show at Extreme Rules 2020 review. So going into this show, they were calling it the Horror Show at Extreme Rules, mainly because of the Swamp match and the Eye for an Eye match. And going into this, I was really excited for this show. I thought this would be a great show. Unfortunately, I'm not feeling that right now, and we'll get into why. But getting into the show, at the start of the show, on the kickoff, we had Kevin Owens versus Murphy on the kickoff, and I didn't see the full match. I just know that Kevin Owens won with a stunner. Nothing spectacular there. They really need to build up Kevin Owens to what he once was, because really his star power is just gone down. I mean, I don't feel like Kevin Owens is the same star that he once was back in 2016, even 17. So they really need to do a good job of building him up. I don't know if it's because he's a babyface or if he's just better as a heel, but they really need to build him up again to be a star. Then on the start of the show, we had a tables match, a tag team tables match, Cesaro and Shinsuke versus the New Day. And this was a fun little match here. Nothing too spectacular. You don't really need to go out of your way to see this. Really cool finish with a powerbomb from the top rope through some stacked tables to Kofi Kingston, and we have ourselves some new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I didn't think these guys would win, but they did. Shinsuke and Cesaro win the tag titles, and fun fact that Shinsuke has actually won championship at the last 3 Extreme Rules. 2018 United States Championship, 2019 Intercontinental Championship, 2020 the Tag Team Championship. Maybe next year he's gonna win the WWE Championship, who knows? But yeah, Shinsuke used to be one of my favorites. Now, yeah, they really ruined him. But yeah, this match was okay, it was decent. You know, Shinsuke and Cesaro win the tag titles. That's fine by me. The SmackDown Tag Division and the Raw Tag Division are pretty horrible right now. They really don't have any teams. New Day lose the tag titles, and then they're probably going to win it again and win it for the millionth time. Cesaro, Shinsuke win the tag titles. I'm not mad at it. Then we went right into a women's championship match between Bayley and Nikki Cross, and I really wasn't interested in this match going in. Bayley has been dominating the SmackDown Women's division, definitely the best SmackDown Women's champion of all time, probably. There's really no challenges for her, and Nikki Cross coming into it, I really didn't believe that she would beat Bayley, and she didn't. And Sasha and Bayley, one of the best things going on in WWE today. They're really pushing them hard. Reminds me of Jericho and Owens back in 2016. Maybe not as great, but you know, they're doing great stuff. I don't know if they plan on having them turn on each other, but I definitely see that down the line. But look at these two with all the championships. And, you know, we'll talk about Sasha versus Asuka right now anyways, even though this was later in the show. Sasha Banks, technically, I don't know if she actually won. Before I get into that, I just want to say that Bayley won because of Sasha's knucks. Those, like, things, the rings that she wears. She gave it to her, hit Nikki Cross with it in the stomach, and then hit her finisher. But getting into Sasha and Asuka, they had a pretty damn good match. I thought they'd have a good match. They did. And there was a whole bunch of shenanigans and interferences. And basically, Asuka misted the referee. The referee went down. He couldn't see. And Bayley hit Asuka with the championship, took the referee's shirt, and then counted the pin. So technically, is Sasha Banks the champion? They played her music and everything. She really didn't celebrate too much. She was selling the injuries and stuff. But yeah, Bayley and Sasha now hold all the gold, and I think that's pretty cool. We'll have to wait and see if the championship gets taken off of Sasha, because technically, I don't know if that actually will count. But yeah, good stuff right here. Then we got into MVP crowning himself the United States champion after Apollo Crews wasn't able to compete. I never heard anything about Apollo Crews being injured, but apparently he's injured or something. But I don't know if they're actually keeping the United States championship on him. This was kind of confusing. MVP just crowning himself the champion. It's whatever their MVP. Technically, the United States Championship, they'll probably have Apollo versus MVP for the United States Championship at SummerSlam, because it doesn't seem like they're technically taking the title off Apollo. So I really don't know what's going on there. But if MVP is champion, I'm not mad at it. You know, MVP is good. I reckon Cedric Alexander will turn heel and join them in the Hurt Business, their faction there. And they were doing stuff in TNA, Bobby Lashley, MVP, and a guy called Kenny King. So I reckon Cedric will be in Kenny King's spot here in the WWE faction. Then we got into the eye for an eye match, and the match I was most excited about here on the show, and I did an action figure match of it. Pretty gruesome stuff. A lot of you were pretty shocked with it, but that's what the match was supposed to be. You were supposed to rip the other person's eye out, and this match was fantastic. I love this match. This match was awesome until the finish. The finish was kind of flat for me. You know, rumors going in was that they were going to use CGI, and I was ready for it. I thought, you know, gore, pulling the eye out, and you see all the stuff, all the blood and everything. But, you know, we got something not so much like that. Not so much what we thought. So the show apparently is live. I don't know if it's actually live, if they're lying to us or whatever. But if it was live, I could understand why they couldn't do CGI. And everyone would complain about CGI. They'd be like, oh, that looks fake, and everything. But what we got, I wasn't really that satisfied with. You know, as my prediction was right, Seth Rollins wins the match, and he did the thing on the steps, pushing his eye into the steps, and then he just stopped. Seth Rollins gets freaked out because he sees Rey Mysterio's eyes out or something. And at the point of watching, I couldn't see Rey Mysterio's eye out at all or anything. They really didn't do a good job of showing that. I saw later on social media that there was a little photo of him holding his eye up to his head, like a little fake eye. But yeah. The ending was a bit weird. Seth Rollins vomited. He was freaked out about it. I thought that was really funny. But yeah, Rey Mysterio's eye pops out, and they say that they can reattach it or something. So don't expect Rey Mysterio to be eyeless. They're gonna reattach his eye. They're gonna make up something to reattach his eye or whatever. I don't know. The way the eye came out, I wasn't really satisfied with. But the match leading up to it, oh man, that was great. But the finish kind of spoiled how I felt about it overall for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, the match was really good. Probably the best match on the show in my opinion. Then we got into the Extreme Rules match for the WWE Championship, and I predicted right that it would be an Extreme Rules match, but Dolph Ziggler actually made this an Extreme Rules match only for him and Drew McIntyre. If he got disqualified, if he got counted out, he would lose the championship, which was really smart by Dolph Ziggler. This match was decent, you know. Dolph Ziggler, there was no chance he was going to win. Did anyone really think Dolph Ziggler was going to win the title? Hell no. Drew McIntyre retains the championship in an awesome finish. Dolph Ziggler was tuning up the band, and then Drew all of a sudden kips up, and then massive Claymore. 1, 2, 3. Who's going to face Drew next? I reckon Undisputed Era will probably get called up, and they'll go after Drew maybe after SummerSlam, and then Randy Orton versus Drew at SummerSlam or something like that. Other than that, there's really no challenges. I really like what they've been doing with Drew's championship reign, because, you know, all the old championship reigns, they used to have the same person versus the champion for like 3 pay-per-views. It was so tiresome. That's why AJ Styles' 2018 championship run sucked. He versed Shinsuke a million times, Samoa Joe a million times. Drew McIntyre is versing a new challenger every pay-per-view, and I really love it, and that's really good. But it comes to a point, there's probably going to be no challenges for Drew McIntyre to face, so it'll be interesting to see who faces Drew McIntyre next. Then we got into the main event, the match that was marketed for the show. That's why they called it the Horror Show, because of this swamp fight, another cinematic match, and I'm a fan of the cinematic matches if done correctly. This match was It wasn't anything special. You really don't need to see it. I mean, it's probably one of the worst cinematic matches in my opinion. There was just nothing special about it. There's nothing really that cool. There was a few notable things. There was like a snake. Alexa Bliss made a cameo. Just like, I don't know, it was weird. Like, oh, you want me, Braun? You've always wanted me or something. I don't know, that was a bit weird. I thought she was Sister Abigail for a second, but it was actually Alexa Bliss. There was some other guys like fighting Braun Strowman, and he set a guy on fire. That was pretty cool. There was this fighting in the swamp. There was a long promo by Bray Wyatt trying to get Braun on his side. There was like the old Braun Strowman beating up Strowman. And yeah, it was just nothing spectacular, and you know, I don't know. And the ending was kind of It just left me flat. It left me just Like, I was so excited going into the show, and it was like, it wasn't anything special, wasn't anything that great. The Fiend emerges from the swamp. They're both fighting in the swamp. Swamp turns red, and then the Fiend comes out, and it's like, yeah, cool. We already expected that. But yeah, Fiend versus Braun Strowman at SummerSlam. Cool, but like, yeah, this show, it just kind of left me flat. I was excited for it, but there was just really nothing special on this show. You know, the eye for an eye match could have been so much more. Swamp match could have been so much more. You know, I expected an alligator or something, but you know, there's certain limitations in doing this stuff. But yeah, I guess what could you really do with a swamp match? Maybe they could have done a bit better, but it's just, everything was so flat on the show, nothing too remarkable or anything. But yeah, comment down below what you guys thought of this show. Please hit a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We got some epic stuff coming. You have to stay tuned for that. But subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed Extreme Rules, and I will see you all in the next video.